YouTubers. Well, as you can see here in my living room, I got a couple of battery jump starters, and yeah, these both come from Walmart, and yeah, they work good for about a year, and then after that the internal battery on both of them goes bad, and then they just don't work anymore. These are both great ideas. I mean, they both have a built-in jump starter feature, they both have a flashlight, they both have an air compressor built in to them where you can inflate your tires. There's the hose right there. But again, like I said, they just don't last. So the product that I'm going to be reviewing today is from a company called Lokithor. Stay tuned. Yep, I said that correctly. Lokithor. There's the spelling of it right there. Never heard of this company before. I just happened to run across them on Facebook. I seen them doing some advertising, and I thought, hey, let's grab one, let's test it. It looks like it's going to be a pretty cool product. And so here we are. So first things first, this thing says here on the box that it's a jump starter and air inflator 2-in-1. But truthfully, it's actually more than that, because after looking at this product and playing around with it, now I've not tested it on a battery or a tire yet. I wanted to give it a good honest review and do it on camera, but just sitting here playing around with it, I've noticed that it has a LED light, and so when you turn it on, it's actually really bright. It puts out quite a bit of light, a lot more than those Walmart jump starters. Then you hit the button again, now you've got a flash, and then you hit it again, you've got like a slower flash, and then you hit it again, it turns it off. And so that's actually really neat, an actual usable flashlight that's bright enough where you could sit it down on the ground while you're changing a tire and be able to see what the heck you're doing. So I thought that was pretty cool. Then here on the front, you've got the place to plug in your battery cables. And the first thing that I noticed was the springs is really strong. I mean, it takes some force to squeeze that to get them. They're not just going to pop off. And you can see right here on the side of the wiring that it says right here that it's 6 gauge. I don't know if the camera will focus on that or not, but you'll have to take my word for it. But it's a heavy 6 gauge wire, and then it has this special connector here on the bottom, and it looks like it uses brass terminals on the inside. If you take and open this side, then you have a couple different ports right here. And the top one is a USB-C, so you can charge this, and then the bottom is just a regular USB where you can plug in your devices like cell phones or whatever, a plug into a USB. And so that's nice to have. And then if you notice that each one of these areas has a little cover that goes over the top of them to keep dust and dirt and rain, whatever, out. But then here is the port where you can plug in the hose for the air compressor. And I gotta say, most of the time when you get something like this, the hose is not very good quality, but I noticed this one seemed to be of good quality. It feels to be pretty heavy. The latch on here seems to open and close solidly, and it's actually made out of die cast aluminum, I believe. And this is heavy gauge metal. That don't feel thin or flimsy like some of the ones that you get. And then right in here where it screws in, you can see that's a brass connection, and then it's got a nice braided hose. So probably about, I'm guessing, 18 inches long. So you've got plenty enough room once it's screwed in. And then it also comes with a USB to type USB-C charger, so you can charge the device. And then it also has a bunch of different attachments for the air inflator. And then they give you a couple different bags. This one's for the air inflator hose with the accessories, and then they give you this bag that this is sitting on to just go ahead and put everything in. The directions that comes with it was very clear. I read through them briefly. Everything looks to be of a good quality. This is the model number JA301. They have several others on their website. So again, what makes this Lokithor special? Well, the thing that makes this special over the ones from Walmart, let's say, or any other, department store that sells those little cheap jump starters or whatever, is this one has a lithium-ion battery. And it has 2,000 amps. It has the power to jumpstart vehicles dozens of times. The battery is going to last a lot longer. All right, guys, so I can sit here and blab about this thing all day and tell you how great it is on paper, but we're going to test it and see just how good it is by inflating this tire. Now, I already have a rigid tire inflator, and you can see that it says right there that it's at 25 psi. And that I just did that to show you the pounds per square inch on the tire inflator, to show you just how low the tire is. So I'm going to go ahead and get this hooked up. And I gotta say, that is really nice quality. It fits on there good. It's not going to pull off. And I'm going to turn it on. Like I said, I've never used this before, so it gives me the option to go ahead and fill the tire, and you can adjust it. I'm going to set it on 35 psi. It says it has 23 pounds in it now, but I'm going to put 35 in it. Actually, I gotta say, it sounds really quiet. Let me pull this thing off the tripod here. It sounds really, really quiet. You can see that it's already went up 1 psi. It's up to 26 right now. And keep in mind, the battery is only halfway charged on this thing. I started to charge it up for the video, but I thought, well, that's not going to be a fair test, because truthfully, most of the time when you go to pick one of these up and use it, the batteries run down quite a bit. And so, I figured I would just leave it at half charge right out of the box. You can see it's already at 27, 28. So it seems like it's pumping it up pretty quickly. Now, reading on their website, it says that the air inflator is good for 200 to 300 cycles. So I gotta say, that's a lot of usage out of a little inflator like this. I know the ones that I've gotten from Walmart, like I showed you in the house, I used them maybe 20 times or less, and they got really hot, and the internals just seemed like it burned up on the inside, and it just wouldn't pump up very fast after that. So it said with this one you should be able to pump up 4 tires on a full charge, so we'll see. And you can see down here that it's already jumped up to 30 psi in that short amount of time. And don't get me wrong, I love my rigid inflator. If that thing had a jump starter on it and a flashlight, then I wouldn't even be doing this review, because it's a great inflator. But I wanted something that's got everything in one package, so you don't always have to go hunting for stuff. It sucks. With this here, it's a jump starter, it's an air inflator, it's a power bank, it's a flashlight. So it's got pretty much everything you'd need in an emergency at your, if it's your house, if you need to charge phones during a storm, or I needed a flashlight, or if you, kept it in your car, it's got everything pretty much that you need. So, oh, and one other thing. I said the hose seemed to be of good quality. It doesn't seem to be leaking at all. Sometimes you'll hear hissing from other ones, other hoses and stuff like that. But this one doesn't seem to be leaking. So that's a good sign. And it's already at 34 psi. It should be cutting off here any minute. But I gotta say, it's pretty quiet. And it didn't take it long at all. There it goes, 35 right there. It jumped back down to 34 for a second. Now 35. Now it said the accuracy on the gauge was plus or minus 1 psi. So that's pretty good that it's at least accurate. And like I said, it should be cutting off any second. I'm excited to see this thing in action as far as being able to jump start an actual battery. And it says it should be able to jump start a car, you know, or truck, or, you know, a big diesel engine several dozen times. So like I said, we're just gonna put this thing through the paces and see, you know. I've got a lawnmower over here that ain't been cranked in probably a good month and a half, and I know the battery's dead in it. There you go. So you can see right there that it cut out 35 psi. So gotta say, I'm pretty impressed with that. And you don't hear any hissing from the hose, so it's not leaking. So that's pretty good. And okay, let's jump on to the next task and see if it can start an engine. So now I'm going to test this thing out on my lawnmower. Now keep in mind, this thing hadn't been started, let's see, probably about a month and a half, because it's about 2 weeks till Christmas right now. And so I don't think I mowed maybe the first week in October, maybe one time. So, you know, it's been well over, you know, a month and a half since this thing has been started. So I did have it plugged up into a solar panel, but I guess my contacts didn't connect really good with the battery there. So what good did that do me? So I'll go ahead and show you, you know, the keys. It won't even turn this thing over. So that's pretty frustrating. So I'm gonna go ahead and connect the cables to the front right here, and it's pretty much a foolproof, because if you look right here on the bottom, that is rounded, and on the top that's square. So these battery cables can only plug in one way. So once you plug them in, you know, they're not going to fall out. Seems like that's a really secure fitment. And I'm going to go ahead and we're going to plug up the positive one, and then plug up the negative one, and I'm going to go ahead and try it. So stay tuned. Now I'll go ahead and tell you guys, I don't expect this thing to start up and run right away, just simply because there's probably no gas in the fuel lines yet. So I'm going to try to attempt to crank it, see if it'll turn it over. It's trying to crank. Probably just needs a little ether in the carburetor. Just bear with me. And to show you guys, I'm not making this up. You can see that there's water in the seat. I mean, I haven't drove this thing or done anything to it. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray a little starting fluid in there. All right, there you go, guys. You seen it cranked it up. It's not getting fuel yet, but that's why it died. But you seen that it had the power to crank it right up, no problem. I'm gonna try to crank it up again and see if I can get it started. I just said she was running. So, does this seem like a good product to me? Well, so far. I just tested it today. This is not a long-term review, so I can't speak for long-term. I'm not going to say, hey, I've had this thing for 10 years and it works great. But so far, am I happy with it? Yeah. I'm on their website right now, as you can see. And I just wanted to run you through some of the features about it. And, you know, just let you know. The thing weighs 3.9 pounds. So if you compare it to some of those other jump starters, it's a lot lighter. Thing that I noticed about this product that, you know, might be important to you, might not. It's not very important to me, but I thought it was pretty neat, was the handle. I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but it's got like a soft handle on the thing to where when you grab it, it's soft on the hands. You know, like the soles on some of those tennis shoes, when you step on it, it compresses to be easier on your joints. Well, that's the way this handle works. And I gotta say, I've never seen that kind of handle on anything. And you know, it just shows that they kind of went the extra mile on making the handle. So hopefully they made the rest of the product as good, and I hope it lasts long term as well. So like I said, it only weighs 3.9 pounds. It's not very heavy. They're on sale right now for Christmas, I guess, for $139. It shows that they were $189.99. Yeah, you know as well as I do, they probably keep them on sale all the time. But it shows right here they got 14 5-star reviews. And then down here it says it's a 2,000 amp jump starter. And again, it has a 300 to 400 cycle on the air compressor, and it has a 300 lumen flashlight. So it says it can last 17 to 18 hours at one full charge. That would be, you know, pretty handy, especially if you're changing a tire, working underneath the car or something like that. Then it goes on to tell right here that it has the 3.0 USB port for recharging USB devices like smartphones, tablets, and things like that. And to show you how to charge it, you just raise this flap up and you take it just a standard USB-C phone charger and just plug it in. And while it's charging, you can see that it lights up, you know, and shows you that it's actually trying to charge that battery up. Now, if you're curious about the charge time, it takes anywhere between 4 to 7.5 hours to charge it up. So, you know, that varies depending on the condition of the battery. You know, obviously if it's at 2, then, you know, it's not going to take as long to charge it to 4. But if it's completely dead, then yeah, it's probably going to take the full 7.5 hours. Now, if you compare this jump starter to the ones like I showed you in the beginning of the video, you all know that if you don't recharge them back up every couple of months, then they discharge, and when you go to use them, they just don't work anymore. And if you don't keep them charged up, then pretty soon they just lose all their capacity, and you know, you're stuck with a paperweight. So with this thing, it has a very small discharge rate, so you can, you know, charge this thing up fully to max capacity and leave it sitting on a shelf for up to 2 to 3 years. So that's pretty freaking impressive. And I know that is true for these lithium-ion batteries because I actually have a jump starter that is just a lithium-ion jump starter. It doesn't have anything else with it like an air compressor, but it's been here in the house for a couple of years, and I use it from time to time, and every time I go to use it, so it always works. So I'm guessing that this is going to be the same way. So that's very impressive that, you know, it can last on a shelf that long, where you can store it in your car up underneath the back seat or whatever. I give this product 2 thumbs up so far. Like I said, I can't speak for longevity, but as far as me testing it here today, it seems to work fine, and I look forward to using it in the future. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe to my channel. I'll put a link to the Lokithor website down below in the description, so check that out. And as always, thanks for watching. Have a good one.